Okay, starting off this next lesson with a little tip for the last lesson is first off, let me just try to fix this quick here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to change this L shape into a cross with a couple quick moves that kind of make it so you don't have to do the same algorithm twice. And it's just it's a quick little move that you do to finish it off. I'm going to explain that real quick. If you're familiar with the algorithm, of course, you start off just like you did before with front, right, up. You want to do right inverted, up inverted. You want to do right, up. And you want to do right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. It gets you the cross. And basically, the reason why it works like that is, of course, let's try to get this back again. If you're here, you're doing normally, you do front, right, up inverted. Front, right, up. Then you do right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. The only thing we're doing is we're not doing front inverted. We're just adding the next step, because obviously you do that. Okay, now you turn it back and then you go back into it. We're basically just removing the front inverted part and doing another rotation of each side, and that's why that works. It's just eliminating one step, and it's more fluent, and it gets into the next step and you get your cross. Okay, so now, like I mentioned before, you have your cross. No matter what the orientation is, you're always going to have at least two lined up, or all four lined up in the right spot. And the two is either going to be opposite sides of each other, or they're gonna match up on two sides. And I'm talking about the edges here, not the top part. Obviously, they're already right. So in this case, let's take a look at what we have. And the easiest way for me to see this, and to help you guys see it quicker, because you can just sit there and rotate it until something lines up, is just remember that white, just one way or another, remember that orange is across from red, and or you can remember that yellow is across from white. But just keep this in mind if you're looking for the top pieces here. If you see orange and red and they're not across from each other, then you know that the other possibility is true, that the other two have to line up, or the other two, if they're not going to be across from each other, is what I mean, not to confuse you. The other two pieces are not going to line out correctly, because they can't. If this is a orange and this is red, then these two can't possibly be across from each other. So you know that's just going to be two corner pieces. But if that's too confusing to understand, you could just take rotate it, and if none of the two colors line up, rotate it again. None of the colors line up, rotate it again. Just keep doing it until eventually two colors, either side by side or across from each other, line up, or they're going to be in the right spot. And for this algorithm, we're going to do is we're actually going to be rotating corners until, or edges, until the pieces line up to where they need to be. And it's the same algorithm. If you end up with the two colors that line up, in this case the red and the yellow line up with the middle pieces, so they're good. Otherwise, let's say red and orange will line up, you'll have the two line up on the both sides. It's still the same algorithm. What it's going to do is it's going to change it to two corners, and then from the two corners we're going to change it to the cross. It's kind of like the same concept as when we're building the cross, but except the colors are going to be in the right spot on the sides, not on the top. So let's learn this here. So first thing you need to know is, just like before, is if you have the two colors on the sides, you're going to do an algorithm no different than if they're on the two corners, and you're going to do it until all the corners are correct. And the way you're doing that will be as followed.